Hello everyone, welcome to the review video for lesson 7. So the topic for lesson 7 is word problems with fractions, and in the previous class we already learned how to do multiplication and division of fractions. So in this class we are going to apply what we have learned previously and solve some word problems. And before we do it, we can try to solve some very easy questions. So let's start from this question. What fraction of the diagram below is shaded? Write your answer in its simplest form. So first, we cut this trapezium into how many equal pieces? We cut it into 12 equal triangles, right? 12 equal triangles. So the denominator of the fraction must be 12. So the 12 tell you that how many equal pieces do I cut the whole trapezium into? So I cut it into 12 equal pieces. So how many pieces I have shaded? 2, right? We have 2 parts shaded. So that's why the numerator is 2. Perfect, but that is not the final answer because 2 and 12, they can be simplified. They have common factors. The common factor is 2. So we can cross the 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So the final fraction is 1 out of 6. So 1 out of 6 parts is shaded in the diagram. Okay, now let's go to question 2. Now shade in more triangles until 3/4 of the picture is shaded. So we have to shade in more triangle to make it becomes 3/4. So what is 3/4? 3/4 is 3 out of 4, right? 3 out of 4. But in this diagram, there are 12 equal parts, not 4 equal parts. So how can I do it? We try to make 3 out of 4 into something out of 12. So basically, you have to find out the equivalent fraction. So equivalent fractions means two fractions that look different, but they have the same value. Okay, so 3 out of 4, we turn it into something out of 12. How to find out the equivalent fraction? We try to multiply both the numerator and denominator by the same number. So because you want to cut it into 12 pieces, so you have to multiply by 3 for the 4, and at the same time you multiply the numerator by 3. So after that you get 9 out of 12. So if you shade 9 out of 12 parts, it is equals to 3/4 of the picture. Okay, so you have already shaded 2 parts already, so you still have to shade 7 more parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 9 out of 12 and exactly the same as 3 out of 4. Great, so if you get it, let's go on to the next question. The next question is about fraction, multiplication, and division. So that's the content in lesson 6, right? So let's do it. For the first one, we have 3 times 2 out of 9. So remember, 3 is an integer, and 3 is actually 3 out of 1, right? It's actually 3 out of 1. So we have 3 out of 1 times 2 out of 1, 2 out of 9. So when we are doing fraction multiplication, remember we multiply the top with the top and multiply the bottom with the bottom. So at the top, we have 3 times 2. And at the bottom, we have 1 times 9. So 3 times 2 equals to 6. 1 times 9 equals to 9. So it is 6 out of 9. And 6 and 9, there is equivalent. There are common factors, so we can try to simplify it. 6 is basically 2, because it is 6 divided by 3. 9 divided by 3, it is 3. So we have 2 out of 3. Okay, so now let's go on to the second question. What are the two numbers at the top? 11 and 7, right? So we have 11 times 7. And what are the two numbers at the bottom? At the bottom is 14 and 13. So 14 times 13. Okay, so before we do the multiplication, we can actually simplify it first, because after the multiplication, you have to simplify it, but the numbers get bigger, so you may not be able to see what is the common factor. But when the numbers are small, you can see the common factors quite easily. So can you see any common factors between one top numbers and one bottom number? 7 and 14, right? So 14 is a multiples of 7, so 7 becomes 1. 14 is 7 times 2, so it becomes 2. 11 and 13, they're prime numbers, so I don't think we can simplify them. So at the top, we have 11 times 1. At the bottom, we have 2 times 13. We get 11 out of 26. Perfect, so now let's go to question 3. Question 3 is division. So in the class, we have mentioned that divide a number is actually equals to multiplying its reciprocal. So what is the reciprocal of 2? The reciprocal of an integer is 1 over that number. So it will be 1 over 2. Okay? So to find the reciprocal, you just have to switch the numerator and the denominator. And because 2 is basically 2 out of 1, so the reciprocal is 1 out of 2. Okay, so now we just have to carry out the multiplication. The top two numbers is 1 and 1. The bottom two numbers are 10 and 2. So we do 1 times 1 over 10 times 2. And that would be 1 out of 20. That is exactly the answer. Finally, we have 5 out of 6 divided by 2 out of 3. The logic is the same. So we turn the divisor, the number behind the division, into reciprocal. So 5 out of 6 times 3 out of 2. 3 and 6 has common factor. So 3 becomes 1, 6 becomes 2 because it is 3 times 2. After that, we multiply the top numbers, 1 and 5. We have 5 times 1. Bottom numbers, 2 times 2 equals to 5 out of 4. Perfect. So these are all the answers for the Let's Get Ready question. And that's the end of the video. So remember to do some revision on lesson 6 before attending lesson 7. If you have any question, you can ask me in the WeChat.